All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Build It Through Culture Live. I'm excited to come at you tonight. Me, my culture collaborator, Steph Belafato. Love coming to you every 2 weeks, talking about culture, talking about what that means, what it applies to, family, business, organizations, any organization that you're a part of. When you use culture, it enhances the experience for everybody, and it actually makes it easier for you to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. And you got to think about this. When you build a culture, people know what it is, and when people know what it is, they know how to behave, they know the values, they know what the mission is, they know what you're about, and they're able to make better decisions because it's obvious and apparent. That's what culture does. So I am Rob Genovese. I am the owner of Unleash My Beast brand. We're a brand strategy company. And what we do is we create brand strategy that attracts clients to you so you don't have to chase them down and sell them anymore. That's what I do. The other thing I do is Master Networks. I'm a regional director for Master Networks for New Jersey. I'm also area director for Master Networks in Rockland County, New York. I'm proud of those two things. And I want to let my culture collaborator co-host, the 3Cs, Steph Belafato, introduce herself. Go ahead, Steph.
Woo woo! Hey guys, so glad you're with us tonight. I am Stephanie Belafato, and I represent ServPro of Putnam County, New York. We are your local fire, water, mold, biohazard remediation company. So any mess that you have that you don't want to clean up, we'll do that for you. I am also on the Culture and Retention Club with Rob and Tina Campbell, as well as being an area director in the New York region and a president of the Carmel, New York chapter. So welcome, everybody. We're so glad you're with us tonight. Shout us out, shout out. Let us know in the comments that you're here. And we want to see all your amazing faces.
Who we got showing up first? Lisa. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Lisa's a regular supporter. Always good to see Lisa on here. The ever supportive Rachel Sirota.
Hey, Rachel.
Great friend. And Mary Ellen.
Mary Ellen. Hey,
Mary Ellen.
Mary Ellen.
She always calls us like superstars and rock stars. I love when she comes. You know, she makes me feel like I'm doing something. All I'm doing is talking, right?
Yeah, we're just here. We're just here to hang out with you guys because we can't get enough of you all, right? So,
that's right.
You know, and again, I'm going to give Sammy Vecchiola a shout out. You know, she made me this mug, and this is my saying always. We don't just do business here together. We do life here together. Oh, Barry's in the house. Woo, woo.
Yeah. You know, and we were talking about this the other day, and, you know, I was talking to some new people, and they were kind of looking at Master Networks and going, you know, what's the difference? You know, this seems like other networking groups, but they'd only been to like one meeting, and it was a beginner, like a starter meeting. So it wasn't the full blown thing.
Right.
And they're like, well, what's the difference? And I was like, you know, I think when I think about this, we tell people, well, we're a business networking group. Why? Because that's what they understand. You gotta frame it for people. I said, actually, we're an organization of opportunity. I said, so whatever it is you need, you can get it here, but opportunities come out of the relationships you build. And then whatever you need something, you turn to those relationships and you say, hey, can you help me with ... And chances are.
Yeah, you know, Rob, it's funny because I had a face-to-face with someone, not in Master Networks yet. I'm hoping that he's going to become a member. He's just starting a property management firm for himself. A great young man, really ambitious, a great guy. And I met him in person for coffee last week, and I met him again today to follow up with him in person. And when I said to him, how can I support you? What can I do to support you? And, you know, who are you looking to connect with? And he gave me a list of people he was looking to connect with. And that after I left that meeting, I came home, I spent like an hour shooting off emails to do warm introductions for him to, I think it was like to 8 people that he was looking to connect with. And when he said, really, like, you'll do that for me? Like, you guys are so nice. Like, and I'm like,
you're nice. It's like, I guess that's one way of putting it.
Well, you know, like he was not expecting to be helped as much as he was, he was a little overwhelmed with the receiving that kind of help. He wasn't used to that.
And that's a really good point, and the whole reason we started going down this road was, your famous quote here. And it reminds me of something that a conversation I had with somebody about a month ago. And a person who's not a member of Master Networks was just visiting. And so I did a face-to-face with her. We were just talking. And most people go towards the end of the face-to-face. They're like, "Oh, so what's your best referral?" Or who are you looking to connect with for your next for a client? And I me, I don't do that. Because
Right.
everybody does that. And here's a really good example. When you talk about doing life together, right? It's not just business, because business people think about the transaction. But
Yeah.
this woman said to me, who's not a member, thinking about it, you know, I said to her, "Let me ask you a question." I said, "I know you need clients. That's obvious." I said, "But what do you need now to help you move forward in
Right.
whatever you're doing?" Right? Because I can't read her mind. So what are you doing? And she goes, "Wow." She goes, "Actually, this is really good." She goes, "Actually, I do a lot of talks for colleges, and I do get business out of there, but I get great connections out of there. So I speak at colleges." So I said to her, I said, "Well, then I'm going to introduce you to a good friend of mine who is a professor at two different colleges."
There you
And she
go.
was like, "Oh my
What?
gosh." She goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." And I did. I introduced them. And, I don't know where it went because I haven't followed up yet. But think about that. She's not a member. Like certain organizations go, "Wait, you got to pay, and then
Yeah,
we'll
right. You
release
have to
the
be a
information."
member for, well, that was the same thing with this potential, this new property. He's just starting his firm. So when I said, "What could help you now?" Just like you did, he was like, I need people that I can use as vendors, right?
Mm.
For managing properties, plumbers and electricians and those kinds of things." And I was like, "Oh God, I can help you there for sure." Right.
Yeah.
But the nice part about that meeting, we had so many similarities. Like, he was like, "What's your I said, "What's your favorite food?" And he's like, "Sushi." I'm like, "Really?" We shared that, the love of
Yeah.
pizza, the fact that one of our favorite places to go for both of us is Sarasota, Lido Beach, Longboat Key. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God." And he's a young guy. And you know what? He's my kid's age. He's our children's age, right? So, um, we want to help them, right? Who doesn't want to help someone succeed? And that's what I said to him. But he came from a job in the city where it was ruthless for him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he wasn't used to the warm welcome of all of us. He was used to it being much different than that.
When you shift your focus from, "Hey, I think I may have a client for you," which is just singular, right? It's singular.
Right.
Because think about that example. If I gave that woman a referral for a client, she gets a client.
Right.
Wow, great. But that relationship that I connected her with somebody who she was looking for, how many clients could she get out of that one
That's
introduction?
right. That's right.
So that's where the value lies. And when you say we don't just do business together, we do life together, our focus is on how can I help you? In what way do you need help? And if we just focused or we're going to talk about a certain topic today, but if you just focus on how do I help the other person, it changes the conversation to more of like your new friend said, like, "Oh my gosh, you do that for me?" Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Why wouldn't I?
Right. Right.
We want everyone. Hey, Chris, we want
Hey, Chris.
everyone to succeed, right?
Yeah.
And the beautiful part is we get to do it together, and that means we get to grow together.
Yeah.
I was
Absolutely.
thinking the other day, I was like trying to create this quote for myself, and I was like, culture equals collaboration, and collaboration equals what did I say? It was culture, collaboration is
Did you
oh,
write
I'll
it
have
down?
to. I did write it down. You
Yeah.
know what? Hold on.
You
I'm
gotta
gonna
dig
tell
that
you
out.
what it is because I made a graphic for it for myself.
Oh,
Here it
cool.
is. So culture is the key to connection. Connection is the key to collaboration. Collaboration, the key to growth, and growth is the key to success.
I like that.
Do you
That's
like
cool.
that? Because I was going to run that by you tomorrow in our own meeting, but
Yeah, when
I
we
thought about
talk,
it. I was like, you know, I'm like thinking of these things, and I'm like, if you just connect these dots, right? How much better could we all be from that? So I
yeah,
hope you guys all like that. You can let me
yeah.
know if you like that, but I
Hey,
came up with
Trisha.
that the other day.
Trisha's in the
Oh, hey,
house.
Patricia,
Yeah,
thanks.
she loves that.
Ah,
Look at this. You're already
thank
getting it.
you.
Nicely done, Steph. That was
Oh,
good.
thanks,
That was good.
Teresa.
So,
Yeah, I just
now you're going to get to be one of those people who, in 20 years right now, they're going to be like, the famous businesswoman Stephanie Bellafato once said, and they're going to quote you.
yeah, if only, but that's okay. Look, it makes me happy when you and I talk about culture, that like feeds my soul. I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys, but it does. It feeds my soul. Ooh, Master Networks,
Hey,
Dolestown's in
PA.
the house.
Look at that. We got Master Network
Awesome.
from Doylestown, PA, checking in. Hey, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Appreciate
And
you guys coming here and playing along with us. And
yeah,
I think, Steph, as we get along, we're going to set up our topic. We should probably lay that topic out for
yeah,
them.
we
What this
probably
is going to
should,
be.
but of course, it's always going to go back to, and this is the overall, Rob and I talk about this. I've talked about this for forever, right? It's always how you make people feel.
Yeah, always.
It's so super important that you make people feel warm and welcome and invited, and that you care about what they care about.
Yeah. It's really, and it's hard to do. And I came from a place, I've been trying to grow myself, for the past 3 years. And, just loving people, like honestly and truly. And look, I don't like everybody, but I do love
Well,
everybody. I always want to make sure that if I'm meeting them for the first time, that they do feel welcome and
right.
that they do feel like they matter and they're important and we care about your success. So I want to see
Right.
you win. Was my thing.
Yeah, always. We want everybody to succeed.
Yeah. Yeah. Truly.
I mean,
Truly.
that's what, like I was saying to this gentleman, that this new property manager today. I'm like, it used to be, the old saying was, it takes a kid it takes a village to raise a child, right?
Mm.
But
Hmm.
it takes a village to grow your business,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
takes a village. You need to surround yourself with people that are positive, that are going to feed you positive energy to help you grow in your business and grow in personally too, in life.
Yeah. Yep. Speaking of growing, maybe we should
Speaking,
talk about the topic.
maybe we should. Do you guys know what the topic is? If you do, put it in the chat.
Yeah, we'd like to see if you're paying attention because we do
Right.
put this out. We do some promo graphics for this. Sometime a week before, sometimes a week and a half before we do this. And if you're paying attention on Facebook and some of the groups and the pages, we do announce what it. Rachel always gets it.
Yes, she always does. She always
I'm just going
does.
right to it. I'm just going right to it. Thank you, Rachel. Rachel, she pays attention. Winky face environment. Yeah, it's the environment. And look, when I say environment, depending on your world and where you spend a lot of your, or I guess, time or thought process, environment might mean different things to you. We could be talking
Absolutely.
about the natural environment, which we will, and we could be talking about your social environment, your business environment, uh, and any of those. And that's kind of what we are saying is your environment in general. And we want to hear any part of that maybe has affected you in a good way, or maybe a negative way that forced you to make some changes. And I'll kick it off with one of my stories is that actually led me to Master Networks, which is interesting. So when I first started business networking, I was brand new to it, didn't know what I was doing. And I joined a couple of other organizations. Now, I was still, had the same company. I still was the same person. I conducted myself the same way. And in July of 2019, I joined a couple of organizations for networking and I failed. I couldn't make it work. I couldn't make connections. I worked really hard to get in touch with people, make connections, and go to things and mixers and dinners and luncheons. chapter meetings, events, exchange cards with people, take them to coffee, whatever. And I got nowhere. Nowhere.
Really? Why do
Now,
you think that was, Rob?
well, listen to this. So, not too long after, I get invited to a Master Networks meeting and I join right away. And with probably a similar amount of time, a few months go by. The first one was a few months went by and I worked it hard. A few months after I joined Master Networks, I did the same thing. Make connections with people, exchange cards, go to coffee. And within a few months, I had my own workshop. I had people, chapters ask me to come in and talk. I had people asking me my advice on things. I had 2 new clients within 4 months. Now, what was the difference? Because I was the same. What was the variable? Environment.
Yes.
I was able to grow here and I wasn't able to grow there because for me, this was the right environment for me. Master Networks was the right environment for me to really grow. And so I can't take a lot of credit for what I did. I did the work, but the environment really allowed me to grow.
Right. Right. And, look, I think the beautiful thing is, I think we all continue to learn from each other and we continue to grow. And that's the beautiful thing of all this. So, look, this month, April 22nd, is the 52nd Earth Day celebrated. So we picked this topic because of that. That actually happens to be my birthday as well. I was sharing that with Rob earlier. I said, when people say, "When's your birthday?" I'm like, "Earth Day is my birthday."
Earth Day is my birthday.
Earth Day is my birthday.
It's my birthday.
And it happens to be being celebrated since the day I was born too, right?
So wait a minute. So the day you were born, they decided, in honor of Stephanie Bellafato entering the universe, we want to commemorate this by giving her the earth.
Yeah, right. No.
She has a similar story. Trisha has a similar story. She checked out another group before Master Networks. And she recognized, I didn't recognize it right away until after I got into Master Networks. Trisha's apparently a lot more astute than I am. It wasn't the right environment for her, and she knew it. And so
I knew it too, Patricia. To be honest with you, I had been invited to another networking group myself, and I went to one or two of their meetings. And honestly, number one, it was super, super early in the morning, and I am not a super early in the morning person.
That's never good.
Right. So it was like I got dragged out of bed. Like I almost already felt resentful, right? Like, because I had to get up 2 hours earlier than I normally would have just to make this meeting. Right. Yeah. And so I'm sure that was part of it. So I didn't like the fact that it was super early, but the people were not as warm and welcoming to me. And I want to be surrounded by people that we're all doing business together, but we can also have fun together. Like, we don't have to be so stiff, and it doesn't have to be so scripted.
But Steph, when it comes to business, you have to do business, and you have to talk business, and you have to be business-like.
And I just think that's just so bogus, right? So I'm just going to say it. It's bogus, and I said it to the gentleman again today. I said, we want to have fun. If this is what we're doing for our business, darn, we should be having fun doing it. It shouldn't be like a chore. It should be like an excited.
Always be fun.
Yeah, you should be excited to be like, I used to say, and I still say it, but when we were live in person meetings, right? I used to say, I always knew, no matter how bad my day was, when I would go to a Master Network meeting, I was going to leave better and happier than when I came in.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to know from all of our guests tonight, all of our people on the chat tonight, in anticipation of Earth Day, what are you doing to create an environment for growth? What are you doing in your household? Like, how can we do things better to go green? I mean, you can spin it in a million different ways, right? How are you creating an environment for yourself, for your family, for your business, for growth?
Well, I just have to show this, Steph. So Lisa said, so now the universe has changed its environment because it brought you came into the world. So
Yeah,
the
you're
environment
right.
said, let's do something good for the environment.
Uh,
Let's bring Steph in.
yeah. Well, thanks, Lisa, but I'm sure that's not the case. It just
Look
so
at this.
happened I was ready
Look
to
what
go.
Trisha wrote. Look what Trisha wrote. We have to level up that kind of energy to create the same environment on Zoom. That is
That
really
is
good point, Trisha.
so true.
Really good point. So so Trisha, listen to this. So I mean, you don't know me from a long time ago, and most of you don't, thankfully. But I am normally and by default chill, low key, monotone. In fact, when I did my first video, launching my company, I had no money, no money for marketing. So what do? I go to video because video is it's the method of choice for social media. So I go on LinkedIn and I record these 2-minute videos. So I took my iPhone, I put it on a stand, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make this video, and I start talking about branding. And I watched the video, and I'm like, oh my god! I'm like, nobody's gonna watch that. They're gonna fall asleep because it was like this. I was like, the whole idea behind
Monotone.
branding is that
Yeah.
you really want to be able to help yourself stand apart, and when you do that, you're really going to. And
Oh
I was
my
like,
God, Rob, that's
so
so
Trisha makes a
bad.
good point. So you know what I did? I realized that I have to amp it all up. Like my volume, my inflection, my gestures, everything. I feel like I'm on stage sometimes and I'm being so kind of excessive, but on video you have to do that just to equal the energy of in person. Great point, Trisha.
Absolutely. And look, Rob, you and I have talked about that several times, right? As a leader in a meeting, there has to be inflection in your voice and you want to move away and move closer to the camera sometimes.
Yeah.
And is it a little dramatic? Yeah, but in order for people to feel your energy, right? So I'm
Yeah.
throwing out some good positive vibes to all of you. You need to do a little of that.
Yeah. Hey, Jean. Welcome, Jean.
Hey, Jean.
What is this visitor this morning who shared she had to go from our meeting, take care of an elderly patient? So happy she started her day with us. It changed her whole attitude towards the day. That is magic.
That
That's
is
awesome.
magic.
Thank you for sharing, Gene. A lot of people say that.
Yeah,
A lot of people say that.
absolutely. They say that.
Yeah.
Some of them are like, oh my God, I don't know if all of you drank a pot of coffee before you came on the meeting or what, but
That's right.
what's going on here? I'm not used to this, right?
I've heard that
So
more than a
come on,
couple of
guys.
times.
I want to hear what you guys are putting in the chat. What are you doing to create an environment for growth for yourself, for your business, for your family, any of those things? Put it in the chat for us, please.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
hey, before I forget, all of you that are on this call right now, I hope you've shared it to your personal page because it gives us the ability to reach people outside of Master Networks so that they can experience a little of what we do here. And maybe they'll be like, hey, I want to be part of that.
Yeah.
So please, and let us know in the comments if you've shared it as well. I would really appreciate that.
Yeah. And while we're on the subject of that stuff, I know you're watching this on the Master Networks Inc. Facebook page, but if you haven't liked it, if you're not following it, go ahead right now and click on that because we want you to be notified when these things come out, when other things that Master Networks puts out. They did a live 2 weeks ago, right before us, to bring out more content, more experts, more value, really for free, essentially bringing you value and helping you level up. Again, creating that environment for growth. Like you still have to do the work to succeed, but if we can create an environment that makes it fertile for you to accelerate what you're doing and to amplify what you're doing, that's what we're going to do. So make sure you like that so you get notified of all things that come out from that page.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa shared it.
Thank you, Lisa, for sharing.
Thank you.
Please,
Awesome.
guys, share it and let us know that you shared it.
Yeah. Yep. So, environment, if you, like Steph said, what are you doing to create that environment? And, again, we're going to talk about things, whether it's the natural environment outside, whether it's your office environment, all these things matter. I have this, some people think I'm a little weird. If you don't understand this stuff, it sounds weird, but we're going to be moving into a new home in the next year or two. We're going to have it set up to the way we want it. Because, my wife and I, we both work out of our home. And I say, I don't want to create an office because an office sounds like mahogany desk, office chair, like a banker's lamp. Like I don't like that.
How about a
So I would
fun
say,
workspace?
well, that's what it is. That's exactly what I call it. I call it a workspace. Why? Because I might be working out in there. I might be throwing ideas up on a whiteboard. I might be just putting something together physically. I might be working on a computer. I might be drawing stuff. I mean, I may
Right.
be putting post-its all over a wall to look at something, you know. So it's a space that facilitates the creativity and the building of whatever it is I want to do. So I call it my workspace. I won't call it an office.
Yeah, I like that. I like workspace. I think it's, and you can make it fun, right? Your workspace
Oh
can
yeah.
be fun. It should be fun. It should inspire you,
Yeah.
and have some of your favorite quotes, whatever you're passionate about, or whatever, whatever lights the fire in you to do what you do,
Yeah.
right? Remind yourself of those things.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary Ellen. She
Oh,
posted, she
thank you,
shared it.
Mary
Thank you,
Ellen.
Mary Ellen. You know, one of the first things that's going up on my wall, and you know, not a lot of people like this kind of stuff, but my third daughter, she's at college now, but when she comes home, we're binging all the Marvel movies in order, right? She came to me one day
Ooh,
and she's like, "Dad, I want to watch." She'd never seen one before in her life before this. She goes, "I want to watch the Marvel movies." I'm like, "Okay, which one?" She goes, "All of them in order." It's like, okay. So we start watching them, and she loves them. Like I love them, she loves them. You know, she has her favorite superheroes and whatnot. And she asked me one day, and she's like, "Who's your favorite?" And over the years, it's been different things. But
right.
I go, I love Steve Rogers, Captain America. So on my wall, I'm going to have the Captain America shield. Like they sell these legit full size metal Captain America shields. And to me, it represents things that I believe in, you know, my country, freedom, fight the good fight, like all that stuff.
Right.
So, you know, it's how it'll facilitate creativity in my workspace.
There you go. And that's all that matters then.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's Gene. I'm doing all my storage spaces or redoing so that I know what I have and use things effectively. I'm trying to eliminate as much waste as possible. Right after my own heart, Gene. I'm like so
Yeah.
efficient with things. Eliminate waste, time, you know, things, get rid of things you're not using, right?
I gotta tell you, Rob, my email to people this month, I talk about, alternatives for green, right? Supporting pollinators, right? By bringing native bees and other pollinators into your garden, right? Clean up plastic in your neighborhood or a local park. Swap out your kitchen and household products for, think of 100% recycled aluminum foil or chemical free parchment paper for baking, and bags that are made of potato starch, right? Plant a tree, use wildflowers and native plants, reduce, reuse, recycle in your garden, right?
Yeah.
Those kinds of things can be really helpful. Conserve water. It's funny that you said that about the waste, right? I think, I can't remember how much goes to waste every year. About a third of the food that we produce goes to waste every year. That's
Wow. A third.
crazy. A third.
Wow.
So really be mindful, when you're shopping. Are you going to eat it? Are you going to use it? Or, oh, Jean is teasing because Jean has severe allergies. So when Jean comes to my house and she's going to stay over, I wash the sheets in vinegar so that
Oh,
it doesn't affect her allergies.
right. That's pretty
Vinegar
cool.
is a great cleaner for a lot of things.
I was going to say vinegar is awesome for cleaning things, and I'm Italian, so it's great in salad. It's a must.
Well, white distilled vinegar doesn't really taste so good
No,
in a
no.
salad.
I
I
prefer,
like a balsamic.
I was I prefer balsamic, but not good for washing white sheets.
Yeah, right. It's not good for washing things or cleaning things.
No, it's not. Hey, we're coming up on 7:30, and for those of you who follow us every couple of weeks, you know it's about to come up. You want to set this one up, Steph?
Yeah. So, hey guys, who do you think is our special guest tonight? Put it in the chat. Let's
Surprise
hear.
guest.
We have a
Environment.
guest about
Hmm.
talking about environment. So, who do you think it might be?
Hmm. Hmm. And
Hmm.
please also make sure that we want to hear from you. We want to hear some of the things you've had time to think about it. You can still post it in the chat at any time. Some of the things you're doing to change your environment or alter your environment, and whatever that may mean to you for whatever it is you're looking to accomplish. Because we want to address that. We want to talk about that. We want ideas on how we can do that. We're here to help each other. So don't be shy. Put it in the chat. But
Yeah, and
um,
listen, you want to share any tips that you have for environment. Let's share it all. Let's help each other. Let's open up to other people and what they may have to say. You might hear something that you haven't heard before that might help you. That's what we're here for.
I've never heard of this. I'll
Oh, the
tell you that.
Ugly Fruit Initiative. I haven't heard about that. Talk to
Oh,
local farmers about it. Gene,
ugly fruit. And I
you'll
guess
have to
that means if
tell
it's
us
not
more.
pretty, right, they probably throw it away because people won't buy it. I'm guessing. I
Well,
don't know.
there are things called ugly fruit.
Yeah. I don't
And
think she
they're
means
good.
that.
They taste really good. Maybe it is the Ugly Fruit Initiative that she's talking about, that there's like an imperfection in the fruit. So they
Yes. Yeah.
probably can't get top dollar in the market, but there's nothing wrong with it.
It's
Oh,
it's
she's
the
saying
misfits.
farmers can't sell ugly
Yeah.
fruit.
It's the misfit fruits, from the land of misfits.
So you could get it really probably inexpensively, or maybe even for free. Who knows? So,
Yeah.
reach out, like Jean said. Maybe you know a family that could use a little help right now, and maybe you can stop over there and see if they have any that
Yeah.
they'd be willing to share with you.
Yeah. Lisa thinks Gene Turman's coming on. Could be. Could be.
Ah.
No, nobody else wants to pose a
Nobody
guess.
else wants to
They're
play with
afraid.
us tonight and put
They
their
don't
two cents in on who they think it is.
want to be wrong. I think they're afraid of being wrong because
Oh,
I don't
what
think
we say. There's no wrong answer here. You
there's no
may be
wrong
wrong on
answers.
who's coming in tonight, but there's
Yeah.
no wrong
Right.
answer.
Well, we are running out of time, so maybe we should just bring this person on so that we can just get on with the rest of the show because we don't want to
Yeah,
waste
all
any of
right.
their
I
time.
say we bring this person
Bring them
on.
on.
This person
I'm
is
going to get rid
pretty
of our branding
amazing.
here, and we're going to bring them in.
Oh, I see Larry Blackman just entered the
It's the
building.
black guy.
It's the black guy, Larry Blackman.
He thinks he's coming on, I guess.
Oh, maybe he does think he's coming on.
Larry, you've been on already, so no, I can tell you it's not Larry, but we're gonna bring them in right now. Welcome to Build It Through Culture Live, our surprise guest for the evening. Welcome, Lisa Ferry.
Hi guys.
Hey, Lisa.
Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. So for those of you that don't know Lisa, Lisa's going to introduce herself and tell us what you do, my friend.
Hey guys. Well, I am Lisa Ferry Bashful Buddha. I am a Reiki master, practitioner, teacher, and I like to say intuitive arts and healing arts advocate. I love all the woo-woo things, and I love sharing them with everyone and having those fun conversations that some people might sometimes be a little uncomfortable about having. And so, yeah, I'm just thrilled to be here. And
I love the woo-woo stuff. I
Me
think
too.
a lot of people go, that's so woo, and it's a negative thing. But look, I give them a little bit of a. They don't understand yet. They don't understand.
Right.
And I think when people meet me too, they'll say to me, they'll go, oh, I don't go for that woo-woo stuff because they think I agree because of the kind of person I am. I wouldn't seem that way. And I'm like, oh no, the energy in the universe, man, once you get in that flow, life becomes so much easier. And they think I'm joking.
For those of you, look, Lisa has done Reiki on me. So I have to tell you, and she's so good about, she did distance Reiki on me, right? So she was like, okay, Stephanie, now I can set it up that I can just do it at a certain time. And at that time, you have to be in a peaceful place. And I was like, oh no, Lisa, it's not going to happen like that. Right. Because I know me, I'll keep working. So you have to call me so that I know that I have to go in another room to relax so that I could actually receive what she's doing for me. Because if you're distracted, you got to put all the distractions away. And
Absolutely.
then, I would get my essential oils and I would rub them in the palms of my hands and I would put a little bit under my nose so that every time I was taking an inhale while she was doing Reiki on me, that it made me feel so much better.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, our bashful Buddha, Miss Lisa Ferry. You do amazing work.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Yeah,
tell
it's
us a
fun.
little
It's
bit,
all
Lisa,
about,
about environment, what that means to you, what you do to create environments for whatever it is that you're looking to do.
it's funny. It's, as you were saying, it's really all about intention and just putting that energy out to the universe. When you were talking about, someone had commented and said, yeah, you have to put extra energy in when you're on Zoom. It's amazing how quickly energy can be received, even over a space in something like Zoom. One of my favorite things about, I'm in the Yorktown chapter, and one of my favorite things about that is when folks come and visit, they always say, "Oh, I love the energy in this room." And we noticed that that comment didn't change when we went from being in person to on Zoom. We still get that same kind of feedback every time somebody comes to visit, which is awesome. And because it's all about the intention of the folks behind there. And I loved what you were saying earlier, because you kind of paraphrased one of my favorite quotes by Maya Angelou, which I love. And she says, "I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." And I think that's something not just to live by in a Master Networks room, but it's to live by every day in everything that you do. So, and you don't have to be that rigid business-like person. Like, do you ever hear me talk like a business person? Have you ever heard that from me? No, I talk woo-woo and I talk crazy, but I can still
You don't
have
talk
a
crazy
conversation with anybody about anything. Even if they think it's woo-woo, they might, even if they get one little tidbit from me out of a conversation, I'm happy. Even if I made them smile, who cares what the conversation
You
was
make
about.
everybody smile, Lisa.
So
that's easy. That's an easy one. You're just such a, it's like you have this beautiful aura around you always. I feel like you have this warm, loving energy always. You're always caring for others. You're just awesome that way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And I
So-
like what you said, Lisa, about the chapter. When people come in, if we have more people that have, whether it's the aura, whether it's the energy, whether it's what you're doing, that's making them feel a certain way, a positive way. And the more people you get doing that, on their own as individuals, right? That energy kind of bonds together. So when somebody new comes in, right? Haven't you ever walked in a room and you go, "I'm in the right place"? You haven't even talked to people yet. Right?
Yep.
You just know, because there's energy in there. And for people who go, I don't like that woo-woo stuff. Tell me you've never walked into a room where you went, "I don't belong here."
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have that conversation with folks all the time. In your gut, you can feel it when you're talking to somebody who you resonate with.
Yeah.
And when you're talking to someone who you don't resonate with. And when people walk into a room, even if it's a Zoom room, they know by the way folks talk to one another, whether or not they're going to be comfortable in that room.
Yeah.
Which is
Right.
fantastic.
And sometimes it's such a beautiful exchange of energy.
Yes.
I feel like, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, it's funny. Is it true, Lisa, that now that the weather's getting warm, right? Is it true that if you go outside and you're standing in the grass barefooted, does that ground you, your energy? Does that give you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They call it earthing now. They call it, they have different names for it and so forth. But going outside and standing out in the grass and just breathing the fresh air, it helps you feel that connection to the earth. We can feel that magnetism of the earth when we stand just out in nature. Even if you can't take a long walk, even if you go out for 5 minutes, take a couple of nice deep breaths, stand on the ground, even sit on the ground if you want to. Yeah, it's incredibly soothing for that root chakra energy, which is all about that feeling of I'm safe, I'm secure, I feel comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah, I like to do it too after I've just freshly cut the grass.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's
The
something with
smell too.
fresh cut grass, right? Because you
Yeah.
get a little of it's like very earthy, right?
Yeah.
You know,
And for everybody
so
watching, we were talking about this earlier before we went live. It was my lifelong dream to work from home. I spent 25 years working in office buildings where I literally, fake air, fake lighting, enclosed big metal and glass box. It drained the energy out of me. So I used to go outside and I'd walk around purposely, and there would be a concrete walkway, and I would walk on the grass next to it around the building to feel it. Now I didn't understand what I was doing. I didn't understand the science behind it. I just understood that I felt differently. So when I started working from home, I was my dream. I get to spend every day at home. And so I would never leave my house.
Mhm.
And after about a month, I would go in. Now I'm not clinically depressed or anything like that. I mean, and I know there's people that are, and respect to that. I'm not, but I would go into a depressive state, and I didn't know why. And what I realized was I stopped going outside to walk around. See, that big metal building forced me to go out every day because it was such a suck of my energy. When I was at home, the energy is good, but you need that natural bond with the earth, and you need to walk on it. So now I have to at least remind myself a couple of times a week, at least go outside, and I just walk around my property on the grass. I still can't take my shoes off though. I'm still like a little about the grass and the dirt, but I'm a very clean person. But I walk around and immediately I feel
you know, Rob, I'm a clean person, but there's something about feeling grass between your toes or even sand beneath your feet, like
hey, I'm all
standing
about
on
the
a
sand. The sand, yes, sign me up.
well,
Beach,
the grass, as long as your animals have been cleaned up after, right? Like we don't want any accidents like that happening.
right? The
That I
earth is
would
very soft right
appreciate.
here.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't want it too soft. So, so, Lisa, can you give us some tips on how we can be better grounded beyond standing out in the grass, or, you know, how to create a nice environment for ourselves?
Absolutely. So, of course, obviously, uncluttering your space is a huge thing. That's definitely sucks your energy when you're looking at clutter, and everywhere you go, your eye has a distraction. So, definitely soothing your space, adding plants to your space. There are lots of plants, even if you don't have a green thumb. There are lots of plants that help clean our air and can live in a low light situation, even if you have a small office. They definitely help increase the energy. Crystals, diffusing essential oils, like you were talking about earlier, Steph. I love essential oils, and one of the reasons that I decided to represent the company that I represent, doTERRA, is because they're not only do they provide these beautiful products, but their mission is to support farmers in whatever area of the world they're working in, and they work in collaboration with them to make sure that their harvests are sustainable for the next generation. And they also are advocates against human trafficking. So all of their charity work, it goes toward human trafficking. You know, the dissolution of human trafficking. So it's surrounding yourself with, no matter what you're doing, if you surround yourself with people and companies and folks who are doing good in the world, I mean, that's a fantastic way of ensuring that you feel good and secure and happy about what you're doing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know this fun fact about Lisa, I'm going to share it with you all. Lisa, I'm going to make Lisa tell you guys, where did you formerly work at one time?
Well,
That people would be really excited about.
my degree, actually, from way back when, a million years ago, my degree is in plant science, and I studied at the New York Botanical Garden. And my first 8 years of work as a professional were at the Bronx Zoo, creating environments. I was with the horticulture department, so we were literally creating the environments that the animals would live in.
So you're
Oh,
talking
that
about
had to
like
be
within,
so
say,
cool.
their pen or their pit or their cage or wherever inside there?
Yep. Yep.
Oh my
Inside,
gosh.
outside. Yep. And all the different buildings. So we did everything from the tropicals to the plants outside.
That
Yeah.
is
That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah. I was part of building the gorilla habitat.
Ooh, that's my
Um,
favorite. That's my favorite exhibit.
yeah.
I
You know,
love
all those little
watching that.
ferns that are up in
Yeah,
the
in the
area out there.
tree.
I planted those.
That's pretty
Thank you,
cool.
Lisa. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's so
you're welcome.
cool.
That
Yeah.
is, you never think about the people who do that stuff. You just think, oh, it's just there, right?
Yep.
But it's intentional, right?
Yeah, it's incredible. All the artists and construction folks and the the horticulture department and all the people who put those things together. It's pretty an amazing thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
so cool. Love that.
So fun past jobs. You have a
Yeah.
fun past job. I can't say any of my past jobs have been interesting like that.
Well, not the zoo. You can get so much from the zoo. I love their butterfly exhibit too.
Yes.
It's
Oh my
awesome.
gosh.
Yes.
That would be cool, to have a workspace with butterflies just flying around. Like, how
Uh,
soothing would that be? It's just,
We've got them at the library at the moment. We've got them. We've got 6 little caterpillars who are just about to cocoon and get themselves ready to go, and we're going to release them with the kids. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys,
When
if
I
you have
think
any
about,
questions for Lisa, put them in the chat, please.
yeah, we want to hear from you in the chat. I love that there's a lot of banter going on. I love that. But if you do have any questions, feel free to ask Lisa whatever you want to know about her from her perspective as an expert on a lot of this stuff and creating your environment, for well-being, for success. When a lot of times when I think about, running a business, growing up, I just always thought maybe I was weird and you're supposed to do things a certain way. But there's things I can't do, like put my desk facing a wall. I can't have this big surface bearing down on me. So in my mind, I'm like, I need to have either, if it's against the wall, it has to be looking out a window
Me
because I
too. Me
need to feel
too.
like it's going out. But if not, my desk has to be facing the room, the expanse of the room, so that I don't feel like I'm being closed in upon. And I thought that was just me until I talked to people. And, I guess maybe it's part of feng shui, where the
That's
energy in
me.
the room that you create based on the positions of things and what's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
absolutely.
like Rob, like I need to see open space, right? It's like that's why I always say like the beach is my happy place because you can look out into the water. There's like infinite possibilities. It's never ending, it's endless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of my practice every morning is when I go out and I do my energy work first thing in the morning to start my day. I feed the birds. I feed the wild birds
Oh, yeah.
out on the stone wall outside my house. And my desk faces the window where I can see those birds and I can see them flitting around all day. And so I can take that, even if I can't get outside, on a rainy day like today, I can still see the birds, coming down.
You can watch them, right? And that
Yeah.
still brings you like good energy and peace. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like soothing and calming to me.
Absolutely.
It's those senses, right? So when I go out there, not only do I walk on the ground, I drown out the thoughts in my head and I listen for nature. Like I listen, maybe it's a squirrel just, running on a branch and I hear that flitting, or I may hear a bird in the distance or even a train in the distance, something that just feels like energy.
Yeah.
Right?
It
So
takes you out
the
of your own
sounds.
head. Yeah. It takes you
Yeah.
out of your head and helps you reconnect to the world that we're a part of. Yeah.
We do have a question for you, Lisa, and Coach Glow. And welcome, Coach Glow. Thank you for coming. What's your
Coach?
favorite essential oil and why?
Oh my gosh, there are so many. If I had to pick one, if I was stuck on a desert island, I could only have one essential oil. Coach Glow, I know you would say the same thing. I would say frankincense.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, it's just such a high vibration oil. It's grounding, and yet at the same time, it's got a very high vibration. It's a very spiritual oil. So if there are Catholics in the room, you'll know frankincense is one of those incenses that they use in the church to clarify the space. And so I use it every day before I do a Reiki treatment. Always, I have it either diffusing in my space or even just put a couple of drops on my hands and just sort of inhale and just it clears the mind, it clears the senses, and gets you into that
Would,
high vibration space, ready
would
to
you
go.
describe it as a clearing type of oil? Is that what it does?
I feel like it's clearing. It's also very centering.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if you're a doTERRA oil user, put it in the chat what your favorite oil is.
Yeah, I'd
it'd be
love to hear it
interesting.
because there's so many. They're just all so wonderful. There's
Yeah.
no wrong answer.
My daughter's a big user of them, and she had got me. She had like extra diffusers and extra oils, and she'd give me some. And I love that there's one for whatever you need, right? Whether
Yes.
it's energy, whether it's soothing. I actually never need soothing because I'm just soothed by nature. I'm hardwired to be soothed. I need something to get me going because I'm actually a low energy person. I've had to basically create energy in myself, and I do that through various ways. But that's great. I love to hear that. So like Steph said, if you're using, what's your favorite? Love to hear.
Yeah,
from you.
and hey, if you just hopped on recently, please share this to your Facebook page so that we have a longer reach to people who might not have ever experienced Master Networks, so that they might see us on here and be like, hey, I want to be part of that. Deep Blue Rub, that is magic.
Good stuff.
I can attest, right? I broke my back in 2019. And when I came home from the hospital, I did not take any painkillers. All I used was the Deep Blue Rub.
Yeah.
So it works wonders.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can believe it, but you're always like, when it comes to the back, right? It's so severe. It's either chiropractic or something or whatever. So you need something. And I tweaked my back. I lifted something the wrong way and just like that. And Rachel Sirota, actually, she had sent me the Deep Blue Rub. And I put that on. I'm telling you, I was like, my gosh. I was like, fine. It was totally fine. And it smells good too. So I would actually sit there with it and just smell it.
I'll tell you. So when I first came home from the hospital, I couldn't really turn so much. So I couldn't put it on myself. And one of my closest friends was over and I said, oh, can you put a little of this on me? Well, she put this wad in her hand and I thought, what are you doing? Like, you only need the size of a pea. I could have covered my whole body with the amount that you put. It's powerful stuff. She's like, oh, I didn't know. And I was like, only like a pea. That's all I need is a pea size, and just work it into that area. It's just the next time she's like, I'm only going to put a pea size in my hand. I'm like, okay, good.
Mary Ellen says lavender. Okay, lavender. Susan, lavender. I guess lavender is pretty popular.
Yeah. Yeah. I just posted, or I'm going to post tomorrow, a great blend for allergies. So if you want to, if you're having trouble with your allergies, you can diffuse 3 drops of lavender, 3 drops of eucalyptus, and 3 drops of peppermint, and that'll get nice and wonderful. And if you need a little bit of a pick-me-up too, you could put a couple of drops of lemon in there. That's a great way to knock out the allergies.
Nice. Cool.
So
thank you.
We're kind of bearing down on the hour here, and we want to end on time. But I just want to say, so we've talked about a bunch of things. We've talked about environment, natural environment, so outside, nature. We've talked about creating your indoor environment through oils, through maybe even through sounds, through things you can do. Rubbing some of that into your hands. So it's kind of like, massaging too. So all these different things to create an environment, because people think, we talked about furniture, right? I brought that up about furniture. So all these things, if you can take these people and blend these things into your life, combined together, I believe wholeheartedly, you create your environment, your ideal environment for winning in whatever you want to do. But Lisa, we just want to give you maybe some parting thoughts for everybody here before we say goodbye. What are some parting thoughts that you may have?
I think when we were talking earlier about environment, and you were at Steph asked, what do I do to create a successful work environment? And I think part of it is staying curious, remembering you don't know everything, and always being willing to learn. So always learning something new. Like I'm taking a tarot card reading mastermind class right now, which is so exciting, because it keeps everything fresh, it keeps everything new, and just, it's wonderful to learn from other people.
Yeah, it's great. Awesome. I would agree with that. Learn something new, because you're creating an environment within yourself to bring good things your way. Because when you level up, like, think about it, when you're leveling up yourself, you're opening yourself up for knowledge, for good energy to come your way, understanding, wisdom. It's just, I love that. That's great, Lisa. But we want to thank you for coming. Steph, you want to?
Yeah. And Lisa, can you quickly tell everybody how they can connect with you?
Absolutely. You can go to bashfulbuddha.com to connect with me, or email me at the bashfulbuddha@gmail.com. You can go to my Calendly link. Yeah, I'm easy to get a hold of.
Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you, Lisa.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you for coming. We'll say goodbye. Hopefully we'll talk soon, and we're going to wrap this thing up. Bye, Lisa.
Bye, Lisa. Oh, that was awesome.
That was good. She's great. She's great.
She is so good.
And
I
you
love
can contact
her.
everybody. Contact her, bashfulbuddha.com. Connect with Lisa there. Learn more about some of the things she's talking about. She, we've talked a bunch of times before, and she has different modalities for helping create that environment for success. So, connect with her. Let her help you with that stuff for sure.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So listen, guys, I mean, we're winding down now, but of course we want to shout out to, Tina Campbell, who is the New York, Connecticut regional partner, right? She's what got Rob and I together. Renee Pride, who gave Rob and I the opportunity to go on the Master Networks Inc. page to do this. And of course, Chaz Wilson for starting it all, and all of you amazing individuals that come and support us every time that we go live. Rob, are we going to play the song? Oh, wait a minute. We didn't talk about the next episode.
Oh my gosh. The next episode, number 13, April 21st. Significant.
Why is it so significant, Rob?
I wonder if we should tell them what we're going to talk about. Maybe it'll give some context for how that episode is going to go, because this is an episode like no other episode, and I'm not just hyping it up. It's different, right? Why?
Very different,
right?
I wonder if you guys can guess why it's different.
Anybody know?
I have people walking around. Sorry.
Let's see. Jean's she's wondering, she's hungry. I'm not sure. She's wondering if she's hungry. I'm not sure which.
And we got to play the song again too.
Oh, are you going to be
Rachel?
We are going to be live from Connect down in Dallas, Texas, on April 21st for the 13th episode of Build It Through Culture Live. This is going to be amazing because we're actually going to be talking about it. We'll let it out of the bag now because we really want you to tune in. This is going to be awesome. And we want you to share it. So we're going to tell you now, you got 2 weeks. Share the information. Share, where to find us on Build It Through Culture Live. You know that you can share this with people. Tell them about it. We're going to be talking about creating an experience, right?
Yeah. So please make sure you're sharing it all over the place and asking others to share it to their page. It's going to be so fun. This isn't the same without all of you here, because Rob and I could do this all day long, but you guys are really, really who make it what it is. Yeah. You guys showing up and participating. We can't thank you enough for all your love and support.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys for sure. And just remember, as you go out day after day, at the bottom of culture, the backbone of this thing is how you make people feel. And sometimes I get this. This is sometimes at the sacrifice of how we feel first. And I know we all want to make sure that we feel good so we enjoy our lives. But honestly, when you go out of your way to make other people feel welcome and feel good and get what they need, you automatically get what you need. We're talking about environment for growth. So when you create that good stuff in other people's lives, it automatically comes back in your life. Automatically.
Yeah, so make sure you're just going out there and spreading love wherever you go.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to thank you all for playing along. If anybody knows what this song is, go ahead and pop that in the chat while we wind down the last minute here. If you know it, I never heard this song before. pretty cool song. Beautiful song, actually, by several really famous artists. If you know what it is, pop it in the chat for some extra bonus bucks. There's no bucks involved, but it's a mental buck. We're gonna
We'll
buck
give
you
you
up
a
and
round
make
of
you feel
applause.
good.
Rob and
Give you
I
a round of applause.
will
You know,
cheer for you and
Larry,
say, haha,
thank
you
for
did
doing this
great.
for us. You're welcome. You get
Thank
the
you,
welcome
Larry.
right.
Thank you for always loving
Yeah.
and supporting us. And
Thanks for having me. Thank you for coming, Lisa. Appreciate it. All right, it is 8 o'clock. We are now wrapping it up. That is a wrap for this episode of Build It Through Culture Live. I want to thank Steph.
and I want to
co-host
thank
here.
Rob.
Awesome. Everybody, have a great night. Have a great weekend. We will see
Tell
you
them
in 2
what the
weeks.
song is. If they didn't name it, we got to tell them. We can't leave them hanging.
It just ended. It's called Love Song to the Earth. Check it out. Look it up on YouTube. It's pretty cool. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Reuse, recycle.